That's right, Chad. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Puppet Stephen Human, and you may be thinking, what kind of haunted, scary adventure can a puppet take you on? Well, I'm going to give you a closer look here at Sego Canyon and the town that still harbors the malignant spirits of the past. It's seriously haunted. Just ask our AYL producer, Tyler. This is a Jeep adventure perfect for this time of year, and you have a puppet as your guide. Yay! Let's go!
Throughout the West, ghost towns are plentiful. Remnants of lives once lived and lost in these remote reaches of the frontier. In most cases, little is left but foundations and the occasional half-standing homestead, acting as reminders that nothing lasts forever. Some ghost towns offer more, though. More buildings, more dark crevices, and more frights than you probably expect. Sego Canyon is one such place.
We went to the ghost town of Sego, and so this is Sego and Thompson Canyon. Sego Canyon split off from it. It was really fun because the scenery was just amazing. It was just beautiful.
We had never known about it before, but it's evidently got quite a history in mining. What I understand, it was like the early 1900s to about 1955. There are still ruins there of old buildings.
And those ruins are fairly extensive, from old mines to shops and homes. Sego's history isn't uncommon to other ghost towns in Utah. 25 miles east of Green River, Utah on Interstate 70, you take exit 187 and drive north through the town of Thompson until the pavement ends. There you'll find a town that once hummed with the industry of coal mining and commerce. A rancher named Harry Ballard discovered coal in the early 1890s. He bought the land surrounding his find and started operations on a small scale. In 1911, investors came in and the town began to bloom with shops, homes, and a boarding house. Trouble started almost immediately, though, when the water supply started to dry up. The town continued growing, however, and the mine pumped out coal for the next 36 years. Its last full day of operation was actually October 31st, 1947, as it was permanently shut down the next morning. Today, what remains of Sego is little more than a skeleton of its former self, as the decades have taken their toll on the once vibrant community. Jeepers and recreationists have now started visiting the historic site, listening for the whispers of the past in the rocks and crevices of empty buildings.
First, we stopped at a cemetery. That was so cool, the cemetery. I mean, there were some headstones that were like kind of old and creepy looking, but then there were some fairly recent headstones out there. So apparently that cemetery is either still being used or has been used fairly recently.
It's a very well-maintained road. Understanding that at the very end it leads right into the Ute Indian Reservation.
Long before miners called these lands home, Native Americans roamed the dry hills outside Green River. They didn't leave behind any abandoned buildings, of course, but rather some of the most important rock art in the country, a convergence of three distinct cultures here in the canyon.
Fremont and Anasazi are pretty common further south. Ute Indians were up more north. So I don't know that I've seen the two come together quite like that. That was a little bit of a surprise to me.
I've actually seen that pictograph panel in books before and didn't realize where it was, but here it was, right here in Sego Canyon. Wow.
The rock art and ghost towns of the West are often a ways from civilization, and quite a bit off the beaten path. That fact adds to the excitement of members of off-road groups like the Lone Peak 4x4 Club. Leaving the world behind in search of discovery, both historic and sometimes paranormal, is itself a reward few people truly understand.
I think one of the main reasons we own a Jeep is because it can get us to places we wouldn't be able to go otherwise. We're not the hardcore Jeepers that look for the biggest rock to climb over and beat our Jeep and expect to repair it every other week and stuff like that. But we use the Jeep as a means of getting out into country that you cannot see otherwise, that you would zip by on a freeway and just totally miss it.
You know, some of the stuff that we do is very technical, but this was just a nice, easy drive with some really fun things to see. My favorite part of today was getting right up near the top of Sego Canyon and looking back out over the views. You could see clear into Colorado, you could see clear to Moab, to the west. It was just amazing how far you could see up there. It was beautiful.
Ghost towns like Sego dot the West and are there to be explored by Jeep, ATV, car, or on foot. However you choose to explore, just remember to have your wits about you, because you never know what you might find in the dark corners of the world this time of year.
It's open, it's available, good things to see. Just come out, take care of the land, and enjoy it.
There are several websites that can point you toward ghost towns in your area. Ghosttowns.com is probably the easiest to find. Now, if you want to find Sego here, it's just a few miles north of I-70 on Utah Exit 187. For AYL, I'm Stephen Heumann in puppet form. Happy Halloween. Now back to Chad and Rhea, who are just on the other side of the town of Sego right now.